Hello students, what do you mean by the Coulomb's law? What is the force between any two charges which is explained by the Coulomb's law? According to the Coulomb's law, the force of attraction or repulsion between any two charges is the directly proportional to the product of the charges and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between the two charges, and that force acts along the line joining the two charges. And what would be the conditions of this Coulomb's law that we have discussed in the last class? Then let me discuss. We have taken only 2-point charges, but we have number of point charges at one point. Then what will be the force due to number of charges at one point on another charge? That we need to calculate. And you remember, as in previous year, in waves we have studied about the principle of superposition, and not only this one, even we have studied in wave optics principle of superposition of the waves and at the time of the interference of the light. So that here also, what will be the principle of superposition that we discuss here. Now let me take here number of charges like Q1, and this is one charge Q1, and here we have a charge Q2, and here it is a charge Q3 and Q4 and Q5. Number of charges are there. Now, when we have two charges, we can find the force acting on one charge to other charge, or force acting on second charge to first charge we have studied. But when you have number of charges, then what would be the force on one charge due to remaining other charges? That we need to calculate. Is it okay? Now, when we have taken this first charge, for example, if you want to find the force on first charge due to other charges, or force on first charge due to remaining all the charges, that means force between these two charges. Is it line line R14? Similarly, between these two R13, between these two R15, between these two R12. Now, force due to the charge at this point, force due to the charge at this point, and force due to at this point, and force due to the charge at this point. And we remember that. We know that if Q is positive charge and this is also positive charge, what is the force acting on this charge due to this one? Outward, and even this charge is also outward. Similarly, if you are taking plus Q and it is minus Q, then what is the force acting on this charge due to this one? This charge on this charge will be acting, and even this one. So this is what we have seen in the previous class, is it? Then, but only one charge we can get it easily. Then what the force acting on these number of charges, or force acting on one charge into multiple charges, we need to calculate. Now force between these two charges, force between these two charges, force between these two, force between. Is it? So according to the principle of superposition, the force acting on a charge due to number of charges at a place is the vector sum of the forces due to all the charges taken at the time. Means force in between this one, what is that one? F1. Similarly, due to the charge what? F12, the Q2. Okay, and Q1, and due to the charge what is that? F15. For example, if it is a positive and all others are positive. Okay. Now, due to this one, F1. But when you have number of charges, is it okay? Now, what is resultant force on the charge due to number of charges? It is, you should not add directly add F12 plus F13 plus F14 plus F15. Should not add. Okay, then what will be the resultant force here? Vector sum of the forces due to individual charges That is what the principle of superposition of the forces. Then what is the principle of superposition? The force acting on a single charge due to number of charges is the how do we take? Not algebraic, so we cannot add directly, but we need to take the vector relations, vectors of the force acting on a single charge to number of charges in the vector sum of the forces. Vector sum of forces, individual forces on the charge, vector sum of the forces due to each charge. This is what the force acting on a single charge due to is a vector sum of the forces due to each charge. The force acting on a single charge due to number of charges is the vector sum of the forces due to each charge. That we have to take. So take one what you let Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 are charges. Is it? Now Q2, Q3, Q4 are at a distance. Let Q2, Q3, Q4 and so on are at a distance R12, R13, R14 from Q1. Then what will be the resultant force from the principle of superposition? Force due to multiple charges. Then resultant force on Q1 due to Q2, Q3 and Q4 is nothing but F resultant is equal to F12 bar plus F13 bar plus F14 bar. Just vector relations we need to take here. Is it? Even Q4, Q5 any number of charges can be taken. Is it? Now let me write here what do you mean by the F12. F12 is nothing but what you know. F12 is nothing but 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by this Q1 and it is Q2 and separation between these two charges R12. Similarly F13 is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q3 by separation between these two charges R13 and F14 is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q4 by R14 whole square and so on. Now we have to take the vector relations. Based on this, let us discuss some examples based on this principle of superposition. Is it? So, three identical charges are placed at vertices of an equilateral triangle. remaining two charges. Calculate the force due to force on one charge due to remaining charges. So let me explain. We have equilateral triangle. Side length is same. Let me take here identical charges here q, and here is also q, and here it is also q, same charge. Let me take here 1, 2, 3. As it is a equilateral triangle, all sides are having same length. Then if you are taking A, and this is also A, and it is also A. And let me take R, R, R. Now we need to calculate the force on one charge due to remaining charges. Let me take any charge you take at 1 or 2. Here I am taking force due to these two charges at this point. Okay? Force due to these two charges at that point. Now look at this. Force on this charge due to this charge. As it is positive and this is also positive, then whenever the force act at this on this charge due to this one positive, like charge is repel, then what will be the direction of force? F1 force acting on first charge due to second charge. Similarly, due to this charge, force acting on this one due to this charge. What is the direction? Along the outward, because positive like charge is repel. Then force acting on first charge due to third charge. Force acting on first charge due to third charge. Now tell me, calculate right there. Now tell me, what is this one angle? 60 degree. What is this angle? 60 degree. What is this angle? 60 degree. Now if it is a 60 degree, then what would be this angle? 60 degree only. It is also what? 60 degree only. Okay? Now we need to find the resultant between these two forces. If it is algebraic sum means just we add F1 plus F1. But what we have to take? Vector sum of the displacements. Not algebraic sum, but vector sum of the forces we need to take. Now let me write here F12 force on first charge due to second charge. Force on first charge due to second charge. F12 force on first charge due to second charge. F12. That is equal to, tell me what is that value? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Q1 Q into this one Q into Q by what is the separation between these two charges? R square. Is it? Similarly, you can understand force on first charge due to third charge is also in the same direction and same values, same distance. Then F12 and even F13 is equal to what I get here? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q into Q by R. Okay. So F12 and F13 are having same magnitude. Then what would be the angle between these two forces? Angle between these two are at 60 degrees. Then what would be the direction of the resultant? We need to calculate. Resultant force acting on a one charge due to number of charges is the vector sum of the displacement due to the all other charges. Is it? So what we can write here? F is equal to F12 bar plus F13 bar. F bar is equal. But what would be the magnitude of the force? You can write that from the vector law of forces, from parallelogram law of condition, you can write R is equal to direction of resultant, magnitude of resultant R is equal to P square plus Q square plus 2pq cos theta. Is it? Same as that one. F is equal to F12 square plus F13 square plus 2F1 F2 cos theta. Now what is the angle between these charges? 60 degrees. These two are at an angle. What is this angle? 60 degrees. That is equal to, you substitute F1 and F2 are same. Is it okay? Then let me take here F square plus 2 into F into cos 60. Cos 60 value is what? 1 by 2. That is equal to our F square plus cos 60 value is what? 1 by 2. Then 2F square into 1 by 2 cancel. That is equal to what you get here? Root over 3F square. That is equal to root to 3F. Result. Then what is root 3 into? Tell me. F is equal to what is formula? F is equal to what? It is 1 by 4 by epsilon Q square by R square. Q square by 4 by epsilon naught into R square is the resultant. Or even we have one more direct formula for equal vectors. In first P we have straight about the vectors concept, so that you can understand the resultant of the two vectors for identical vectors. 2F cos theta by 2 for identical vectors. What is resultant? For 2F cos theta by 2. That is equal to 2F into cos 60 by 2. Then 2F into cos 60 by 2 cos 30. What do you get? Root 3 by 2. So that is equal to what you get here? Root 3. Yeah, root 2 cancel. So this is what first one example for this one. Similarly, even we can calculate the force due to the number of charges. If we have taken a square, when we have taken a square for on one charge due to remaining charges at that point, what is the resultant force, that also can calculate. Just we need to understand how to take the direction of force, which is very important, because it is a vectors concept. Then the direction is very important. Even you can tell that what is the direction of the resultant force due to these two charges. As these two forces are equal, then the direction of the resultant is in between these two bisector. Is it? Similarly, you try to do this example, this problem that we have taken here. Q plus Q, and here it is plus Q of the length of this triangle is equilateral triangle is A, and here we have taken minus Q charge. Is it? Then what would be the force on first charge due to the second charge? Force on first charge due to second and third charges. Second and third charges. So again, now let me take here what is the force, as it is negative charge and this is what positive charge. Then what is the force acting on this charge due to this one? Was this charge. And here, what is the force acting on this charge due to this one? Again, the same. But here I am telling that force on second charge due to first and third charges. Force on second charge due to first and third charges. So look at this one. Second charge plus first. Now tell me, on this charge, force due to the charge at third vertex is positive, it is positive. So this charge repels this one. Therefore, the force acting on this charge is what? F2 3. Force acting on second charge into third. Similarly, what is the force acting on this charge due to this one? Is it at this point? It will be attracts. Are you clear? So, what is this charge attracts this one. So, towards this force, which charge? Now, force acting on first charge, second charge to first charge. Now, tell me, it is what is this angle? 60 degrees. Then what is this angle? 120 degree. 120 degree. Is it okay? Now, F21 magnitude of the F21 and F23 are same. Again, for two equal charges which are at 120 degree, 2f cos theta. Is it okay? That's what the direction is very important. Is it? Let me write here F21 is equal to F23 because these two same charges, these two are same magnitude of charges, even separation is same, separation is same. Then what I get here? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by a square. Therefore, theta F21 is equal to F23 and theta is equal to 60 degree. Then what is resultant force? Resultant force F is equal to 2f cos theta by 2. Shortcut. Resultant. Then 2 into f cos 120 by 2. Cos 120 by 2 is what? 60. Cos 61 is what? 1 by 2. That is equal to what? F. Therefore, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by s. So this is what the resultant in previous same charge. And what will be the direction of the resultant? That as these two forces are equal, so what will be the direction of the resultant? Exactly between these two charges. F resultant is making 60 degrees with the one charge. Similarly, let me do one more example. Four charges are placed at four vertices of an equilateral of a square of side A. Then what would be the force acting on four charges due to the remaining three charges? Four charges, four identical, you can take any number of charges. Four identical charges placed at vertices of a square of side length A. Find the force on one charge due to remaining three charges. Remaining three charges. So this is what we have studied even in gravitation, but a mass is always attractive force there, gravitational force, only one direction, no need to get curved. But here it is what positive negative charges will be there, the direction will be changes. Is it? Let me take here this square of side length is what? Q1, Q2, Q3 and Q4. Q1, Q, same charges. Q1, Q, here also Q and here also Q. Now force on this charge due to remaining charges. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tell me, this one because of repulsion, positive positive repulsion force. Then the charge repels this one. Even that means force acting on first charge due to second charge. Similarly, force acting on this charge due to this one. Again, it is also in output. F1. But not only two charges, we have one more charge which is 3 at third vertices. Therefore, and the line joining from the charge 3 to 1, first charge 1. Now the direction of the charge which is force F1 3, force acting on first charge due to third charge. Force acting on first charge due to third charge. Is it? You can understand one thing. The side length of which is A. But tell me, what is the distance from 1 3? What is the distance? Let me take here A and B, C, D. A, B, C, D. Is it? 1, 2, 3, 4. Anything can take, no problem. Now you know already. AB is equal to BC is equal to CD is equal to A is equal to what? A. Where AC, which is the diagonal of the square. Then what is the length of diagonal? AC, that is equal to BD is equal to root 2A. This is A from right angle triangle. Hypotenuse square is equal to side square plus side square. Pythagoras root 2A. Is it okay? Now find the force magnitude. Force acting on 1 due to second charge and fourth charge is same. Why? Same charges, same surface. That's what I take here. And on 1 due to second charge and fourth charge. Second charge and fourth charge. And fourth charge. F1 2, that is equal to F14 is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q into Q by A square. Then what you get here? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q square by A square. But tell me, force acting on first charge due to third charge. Force on first charge due to third charge CA and DB. Force on first charge due to third charge due to this one. Now what is that one? What is the charge here? F13 is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q into Q by what is the distance? CD, CA, AC square. 1 by 4 pi Q into by R square. R is nothing but what? Distance between those two charges. That is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q square by root 2A whole square. So what you can write here? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q square by 2A square. 2A square. Which is nothing but F12 by 2. Is it? F12 by 2. Now let me write here. We got three forces F12, F14, F13. Then how do you get the resultant force? Do you add F12 plus F14 plus F13? Do you add directly? You should not add directly. Then what we have to do? We have three forces, so that first we need to calculate. You calculate F12 and F14 are how are these two forces perpendicular to each other. Now you calculate the resultant of these two forces. Thereafter you calculate the resultant third one. Is it okay? So let me write here resultant of F12 and F14, which are at theta is equal to what now? These two forces are perpendicular to each other. Then what is resultant force? Resultant force due to F24. Resultant of force of F12 and F14, which is nothing but F24 is equal to 2F12 cos theta by 2 for equal forces. 2F cos theta by 2. That is equal to 2 into F into cos 90 by 2. Cos 90 by 2 is nothing but what? 45 cos 45 is what? 1 by root 2. Then F24 is equal to 2F into cos 45, which is equal to 2F into 1 by root 2, then root 2F. Root 8. Here even you can observe this is nothing but F12, F14, that is equal to, if you have taken F4, then what is this value? F by 2. F by 2. Otherwise let us see. Now F24, resultant of this one and this one. Both are identical forces. Then what will be the direction of the resultant? Exactly between these two forces. Then F force on second charge into fourth charge. Because of it is 45 degrees, then resultant is along the first charge, second charge and fourth charge. Then F24 and F13 are along the same direction. F13 and F24 along same. Then what is the resultant force? Will be added. Both are in the same direction. Means theta is equal to 0. Then F12 plus F12 is equal to F24. Therefore, resultant force FR is equal to F24 plus, even F13 is also in the same direction, F13, that is equal to F24 root 2 F plus, what is F13? F by 2. So F you can take common, what you get? Root 2 plus 1 by 2. Root 2 plus 1 by 2. Therefore, F value 1 by 4 by epsilon naught Q square by, what is F value? Q square by A square into root 2 plus 1 by 2. So this is the resultant force due to all the charges. Okay, but you try one more example, the same thing, but I change the sign of the chart. That's all. Okay, fourth one. Work out yourself. 1, 2, 3, 4. Q, 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 Q. Now let me take here it is minus Q and this is also minus. You find what is the resultant. Just I'll give the sign, then you try to do yourself. Force on first charge due to primary charges. Okay, let me write here. What is the force due to this charge? F12. Now look at this one. As it is negative charge, this is positive charge. So force on this charge due to this one is what? Attractive. F14. Similarly, one more charge we have. What is that charge? Due to these two charges, this is negative positive charge, this is negative charge. And what is the direction of this force? F13. Is it okay? Now you try to calculate. How do you get? You calculate the resultant of this one. You will get to 45 degree. Again this one and this one are at 45 degree. Again you solve. Is it okay? Same values are remain same. F12 is equal to F14 and F13 is different. Look at this one, same, everything will be same. Now what is the thing? F14, F24, F14, F12, F14 are perpendicular to each other, same as this one. Then what is this one? Root 2f. This is what? Root 2f. And this is what? F by 2. Now here we have added directly, but we should not add directly. F24 and F14 are F24 and F13 are F24, F13 are perpendicular to each other. This is what? That is equal to 90 degrees. That is equal to 90 degrees. Then what we take in here? F is equal to root over F24 square plus F13 square plus 2F1 F2 cos theta. Here 90 degrees only. So just you add, just substitute values and calculate the force, resultant force on that first charge. Let us take a charge Q1 and one more charge is placed at Q2, which is at a distance R. Now we have taken a third charge Q, which is placed in between the two charges. Then what will be the value of this charge so that the system to be in equilibrium? Tell me, system to be in equilibrium means what is the difference? Resultant force is 0. Resultant force on one charge into any remaining charges is 0. Is it okay? So let me write here. To be system be in equilibrium, to be the system in equilibrium, the force on one charge, force on any charge, not one charge, any charge, due to remaining charges must be 0. So, okay, let me calculate what will be the resultant force on this. We have taken a charge Q and this is RQ here, and this is what charge Q, which is separated at a distance R. Now what should be the magnitude of the charge Q so that the system to be in equilibrium? Okay, third charge Q is placed at midpoint, then what is the magnitude of Q so that system to be in equilibrium? System means those three charge system to be in equilibrium. Okay, but we don't know due to which is it positive or negative, that we don't know. Okay, if it is positive or negative, that whatever may be the charge, that will get later. If it is if the force between on this charge due to this one and force on this charge due to this one must be 0. Okay, to be equal, then force on A and B, force on Q due to Q and Q should be 0 to be in equilibrium. That means what? Force acting on charge Q due to Q plus force acting on charge Q due to Q must be 0. Now tell me, what is force acting on this charge due to this one, and it is placed at midpoint, then what is this distance? R by 2. R by 2. R by 2. Now force 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q into Q by, what is that distance? R by 2 whole square plus 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q into Q by R square is equal to what? 0. So 1 by 4 pi epsilon is common. 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q by R square by 4, then it will become what? 4 by R square. So 4 by R square plus, that is what? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q square by R square is equal to 0. So 1 by 4 pi epsilon will be, that side will become 0. Then 4Q by R square is equal to minus Q square by R square. Here Q to cancel, R square cancel. Then Q is equal to what again here? Minus Q by 4. Then what should be the third charge magnitude? What is the magnitude of the charge Q? Must be minus Q by 4, so that the system is in equilibrium. Even you can calculate. So let us see. When we have taken three identical charges, Q, Q and Q, and then here at centroid, whatever may be the charge taken, whatever may be the charge here, the force on charge at centroid is equal to 0. Any charge you take. Not only that one, you take here, you can try, but identical charges should be taken. Q, 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 and here you take any charge, whether it is positive or negative, force at O due to force at center is equal to 0. Why is it 0? Force on this charge due to this one in this side, and due to this one in this side, result in force. Okay, try to do yourself. Is it? Now let me discuss one more example. See that here force acting on three identical charges are placed at three corners. At fourth corner, Q charge is placed. Now force acting on the diagonally opposite charge is 0. Then what should be this charge value to be in equilibrium? So the system to be in equilibrium, force on 1, 2, 3, 4. Force on first charge due to remaining charges must be 0 for equilibrium. As we calculate already, force on first charge due to the second one, force on first charge due to fourth charge. What is F14 is equal to F12, that is equal to 1 by 4 by epsilon naught q into q by a square, that is equal to 1 by 4 by epsilon naught q square by a square. Is it q into q by a square, q into q by a square. Then what is its distance? Root 2a. Now force on first charge due to third charge. Tell me, first only let me calculate. Resultant of these two what? Resultant of F14, F12. Both are perpendicular to each other. Then what is resultant? F24 is equal to root 2 F. If theta is equal to 90 degrees, already we calculated that one. Similarly, F13 is equal to 1 by 4 by epsilon naught q into q by, what is the distance? Root 2a whole square is equal to 1 by 4 by epsilon naught q into q by 2a square. But the system to be in equilibrium means here this is the force on first charge to fourth charge and force on first charge. How can you know this one? Because identical charges, that we know. But this side we don't know. That's why. Is it okay? Then F24. Now F24 plus F13 must be 0. Resultant force on Q is equal to 0. That means F24 plus F13 is equal to 0. Is it okay? Let me substitute those values here. F24 1 by 4 pi epsilon root 2F root 2 into 1 by 4 pi epsilon q square by a square plus F13 is what? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q into q by 2a square is equal to 0. Now take this one, you take to that side. Then 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q into q by 2a square is equal to, what is this? What is this one? If it goes to the right side, minus root 2 into 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q square by a square. Is it? Now 1 by 4 pi epsilon, 1 by 4 pi epsilon cancel. Here q, here 1 q will be cancelled. A square will be cancelled. Then what is remaining value? Q is equal to, by come this side, minus 2 root 2 q. Is it? Then this charge value must be minus 2 root 2 q to be the system in equilibrium. Is it? I hope you understood this. Like this we can take any number of charges so that you can calculate the resultant force on one charge into any other charges. And even one more important point that note. We have two charges separated by some distance with two dielectrics of K1 and K2 with thickness T1, T2, then mu force between these two charges. Okay? Look at this here Q1 and here it is Q2. It is Q2. Now here one medium we have taken and here one medium is taken, and this thickness dielectric constant is K1. This dielectric constant is K2. Then what is the resultant D is equal to 1. R1 into R T1 into root K1 plus T2 into root K. Is it okay? Before inserting this one, then S is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon Q1 Q2 by R. Then what is this? Now new force is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by D square. Q1 Q2 by D square. But okay, that is what the process. This important point to keep it in mind for very important this for objective. Is it? I hope you understood this principle of question of force due to number of charges on a single charge. How to calculate? Just we need to see the direction. Very important because it is a based on vector concept. Then you need to see that direction properly. Otherwise, it will be wrong. Is it? So you can try with number of charges and different charges on your own, and you can try to find the force on any charge to remaining charges. So we practice that.